Okay. Hola, me llamo Shreya, and this is the first class of hopefully a couple more in which I will teach you the basics of the Spanish language. And if you guys are interested, I can definitely like teach you more. But for right now, I think it would be better to just teach you like the very basics, like conversation wise, and just move from there. So basically the overview for what we're going to do today is just some introductions, and then I'll go over why learning Spanish is really good for you. And then we're going to start with verb conjugations and then some vocabulary. And if we have time, a game of Kahoot. I have a worksheet that's posted in like a Google folder. So I will probably find a way to send that to everyone because I realize that it's hard for you. You can't really click on the screen. So I will find a way to give that out to everyone that's in the class. So I am a sophomore at Sayasa High School, and I've been learning Spanish for 5 years now. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is why we should be learning Spanish, or any language really. So I really like this quote. The driving motivation behind learning a language is intrinsically human. Language isn't simply about words and phrases or grammar. Language is deeply rooted in culture and vice versa. So I know I have a lot of younger kids in this Zoom. So basically what that means is that language isn't just a bunch of words and phrases that you throw around. Language is rooted in years and years of tradition and culture from all over the world. So when you're learning a language, you're immersing yourself into that culture specifically. And after you learn the language, you come out being a more well-rounded person. You know, you learn more about different cultures, not just how to say cat in a different language, you know? So I think that's one of the reasons that language learning, especially while you're younger, is very important. It's because not only can you pick it up a lot easier, but it just helps you, like, as you grow, it's easier for you to understand things and relate to things. And so specifically focusing on Spanish, Spanish has it's one of the best languages to learn if you're willing to travel. So there's a lot of Spanish speaking countries with beautiful views, tropical places, and I'm sure you probably might want to visit some of these places one day. And when you get the chance, you'll be able to communicate in that country because you know a little bit of Spanish. So it's always helpful. And it also makes you more employable. Spanish is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations, and it's the 3rd most used language in the media. So in the future, I know you guys, a lot of you are young and probably not thinking about getting a job right now, but it's just some food for thought, you know, having learned Spanish and having the background of knowing Spanish makes you stand out. And also, lastly, it keeps your mind sharp. According to Alzheimer's Today, speaking more than one language appears to help the brain to resist the effects of Alzheimer's disease. Now, I know this doesn't apply to everyone right now because a lot of you are, you know, 5th and 6th graders, but it's just good to, like, it just makes you look more impressive to have, you know, be bilingual, trilingual, things like that. Okay, so let's go over verb conjugations before we start talking about like simple phrases. So we'll talk about the verb ser. So before we do that, I want to go over Spanish subject pronouns. So just like in English, we have pronouns, I, you, he, she, we, you know, they. So similarly in Spanish, there are a set of pronouns that you have to follow, and these are the same. So first person singular, instead of I, you say yo. And then second, you have tú or usted. Tú is informal, so if you're talking to a friend or your family or a brother and sister, you use tú. But if you're talking to an elder or someone of respect, you use usted. And then in third person, we have he, which is él, she, which is ella. Moving on to plural, we have we, which is nosotros or nosotras. Basically, the difference between anytime you have, most of the times, there are some exceptions, but anytime the word is ending in an O, it's used to represent the male, and with a, it's used to represent female. So when you say nosotros, normally it means like we, but as in either everyone or only boys. Like if you use nosotros, it means like let's say there's a group of boys and you want to say nosotros, or anyone, like a mixture of boys and girls, you use nosotros. And then nosotras specifically is when there's only girls. So if there's a group of girls and you want to say we, you use nosotras. And then you all is ustedes. And then vosotros and vosotras, it's not really used. The only country that it's used in is Spain. So in a lot of Spanish curriculums here, we don't really emphasize vosotros and vosotras, but it's important to know that like a pronoun exists. But so if you're visiting Spain or you're learning about Spain, they will use vosotros and vosotras, which means you all. But a lot of times we don't really put an emphasis on that. And then finally, they is ellos for males and ellas for females. So I want to go over that again because I don't want to throw a lot at you without people understanding it. So if you have any questions like throughout any of this, just speak so I can address it quickly, because if you have a question and you wait until like the last minute to ask it, then you won't really be gaining anything from this. So just don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay, so now keeping this in mind, we're going to try our first verb conjugation. So ser. Ser is going to be used a lot in Spanish, especially when you learn about different tenses in the future. But for now, we're going to focus on the basic conjugation, the present tense, or it's also known as the indicative tense. So yo, as we covered before, means I. So ser in general means to be. So when you're saying yo soy, you're saying I am. Tu eres means you are. El, ella, usted, es means he, she, or respected you. Are. Nosotros, we are. Yes, I will share the slides after the meet, and I'll also share the worksheet that I have if you want to do extra practice. Vosotros is sois, and ellos, ellas, ustedes is son. So let's break that down even more. Let's break that down even more. So not some verbs in Spanish follow different patterns. There are verbs that have different endings as well. However, ser is also considered an irregular verb in that it doesn't follow the normal pattern of how you would conjugate verbs normally. So that's why I wanted to go over this one first, because it's different than a lot of the other verbs. Like caminar means to walk, and that follows a certain conjugation pattern. So but besides that, ser, once again, is soy, eres, es, somos, and then for the sake of this like class specifically, I'm just gonna not use vosotros at all because it tends to be confusing at times. So let's just do nosotros and then ellos, ellas, ustedes. Does anyone have any questions so far, or is everyone like understanding the concept of this? I just want to make sure.
You had a great introduction, Shreya. I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. With this one, I think once we get to the examples, we'll be able to.
Yeah. That's exactly why. So I have let's try this one out. So okay, I want this to be interactive. So I'm gonna like cold call people, and then I want you guys to answer it. So we'll go in order. So Auntie, if you don't mind starting first, because you're the only face that I can see. Do you want me to explain it more, or do you want to go dive straight into some example problems?
Oh, okay. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's do the first one, right? Las muchachas. Muchachas basically means girls, like a group of girls. Muchachos is like guys. Muchachas is girls. Like it's a very like common way of. It's very like informal. So las muchachas and then blank. Parte del grupo de cantantes. This part.
The font, Shreya? Can you increase the font of the?
Oh, sure. Let me do that. Is that better?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So basically, this half of the sentence just means a part of a group of singers. So that's not really important, but what I want to focus on is las muchachas. Do you know what like pronoun this is? Let me have the slide open at the same time so it's just easier to see. I think
Yeah,
that'd
I'm
be
trying to
better.
look at the notes to see.
Yeah, I figured. Hold on. Okay, is this better?
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Right. So las muchachas would be plural, right?
Yes.
So
And you said
what?
that's a group of girls. I mean, the
Mhm.
girls are a group of singers, basically.
Right. So
So,
would you use es, son, or somos?
I think son.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, because las muchachas is the equivalent to ellas because it's a group of girls, like they. So it would be son. You're right. Okay. Next, let's do summer. Um, Summer, you're good. Okay, good. So Alex E. Yo means Alex and I. So this one's a little tricky. I think everyone needs to think about this one before they answer it. Alex E. Yo blank amigas de la escuela. This basically means amigos de la escuela means friends in school or friends of the school. So that part, like everyone can really just disregard for our sake right now the latter half of the sentence and just focus on the subject. So Alex E. Yo, sorry, is that plural or singular? Alex and I.
Singular.
Okay, close. It's actually plural because it's Alex and I, so it's two people, right? So anytime in Spanish when you have an y yo, it implies a plural, which means you have to use the nosotros form. So I'm telling you that you have to use nosotros, like Alex and yo, Alex y yo, Alex and I, we. So what would be the following conjugation of ser?
Somos.
Exactly. Does that make sense? Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do Sanjana. Okay, so I'll help you. This one's also a little tricky. Quien means who. So I will go over this later in the vocabulary, all the question words, but for now I'm telling you quien means who, and then the rest of the sentence, la nueva profesora de literatura means the new professor of English or literature. So who blank is the new professor of English. So when you're saying who, can you try guessing the pronoun before I help you? Or do you let me know if you need help?
Is it S?
Yeah, that's right. Because do you get it or do you want me to explain it? You sounded a little unsure.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically with S, because you have profesora, since it ends in an A, you know it's a female teacher, right? Female professor. So you know that it has to be ella because it's asking who is the new lady professor. So now that you know it's ella, you correctly conjugated it with S. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll do more practice. I know this, you get it. After you understand it, it's a lot easier to like conjugate it quickly. So let's try Mahita now. So this says yo, which means I, blank, de Manchester de Inglaterra. So what do you think the conjugation is for this one?
Soy?
Yeah, that's right. Good job. Yo soy. It's always going to be like that. Yo soy, tu eres, ls. It's always going to be like that. So that's good job. Let's have next Ishana. All right. So hi. Este libro means this book. So este libro blank de la hermana de Luis. This basically means this book blank of Luis's brother. So libro, can you guess if that's, since it ends in an O, can you guess if that's male or female?
Male.
Good job, yeah. So because it's male and it's singular, can you guess the pronoun that it would be? So the pronouns are over here. The pronouns are either yo, to, el.
Son.
Not quite. Son is for plural, so if you have multiple books, but this is este libro, meaning one book. So can you try again? You're correct in that it's like either eos or el, but since este libro is singular, the answer would actually be s.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that libro was book, right? So if it has an O at the end, how can it be a male book?
Right. So that's the thing with Spanish is that when you have nouns, they're commonly associated with like a type of gender. So like you said, profesora, right? Like a professor, like you kind of, with the A at the end, you know that it's female. That's how it's indicated. So that's something that's unique about the Spanish language. Okay, let's try something different. Ishita and Priya, do you guys want to go? Actually, let's skip Nosotros. Let's do number 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so cuando means when. Cuando blank tu cumpleaños. Tu cumpleaños means your birthday. So when blank your birthday. So question words again are a little difficult. Do you want to try and guess, or do you want me to help you first?
I'll try.
Okay.
S.
Yeah, good job. Do you understand why it's S and not the other choices?
Not much.
Okay, so I'll just explain it really quick. You can kind of think of it as process of elimination for now. It can't be soy because there's no yo soy. There's no yo, so it can't be soy, and it can't be son because question words aren't plural. I guess you could think of them as singular, so it can't be son. So that's why it's S. All right, let's try someone different. Shilpa or Hunch. I don't know who's. Or let's move on to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He doesn't know much. He says amigo. That's all.
He's watching, but he's
Okay. That's fine. I get it. Okay, let's move on to Danica.
Yes.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So we're on number 8. So I want you to conjugate this exercise. So it says nosotros no blank los guitarristas de este grupo. So basically what it's saying is we don't blank the guitarists of the group. So if this one's easy because it gives you the subject, you know that it's nosotros. So based on this, you can look back. So what do you think the conjugation would be?
Son. Son.
Not quite. It's actually somos because like you wouldn't say like it's hard to describe because like in English you say I had, he has, she has, they have. So you wouldn't say I have. Well, I mean, how do I explain this? You wouldn't say I has, right? So similarly, because this is nosotros, which means we, you can't use son because son is used when you're saying they. So because of that, you have to use somos, which is nosotros somos. We don't know, or we aren't. Like because it says the verb means to be, right? So we are not the guitarists of the group. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Nagini auntie, do you want to try?
Actually, you know what, Shreya? Actually, I'm listening because I just joined a little late.
Okay, no
So,
problem. Okay, yeah. No problem. Okay, so let's do one more question for everyone. And this time I'm gonna try to help as little as possible just so I know that you guys understand. So, Trivania, did you want to start again?
Sure. And I have a question for you on number 7. Let's
Yeah.
finish off this one and then we'll come.
Okay, sure. So, ustedes, los dueños de los estos autos. That basically means, are you guys blank? I believe los dueños means dreams de estos autos. This part doesn't really matter. So, ustedes, how would you conjugate this?
Son again?
Yeah. Okay, Summer?
Yeah. I have
Oh, sorry, question 7. Yeah.
Number 7, isn't that second person there? When you say cuando, it's two cumpleaños, right?
Yeah.
Two is second person, but the S is for a third person, right?
So the 2 that you're talking about is, hold on. The 2 that you're talking about is actually, it has an accent on it. So the you, the second person, that means you, has an accent on the you. However, this means your. Sorry, I should have explained that before. So cuando es tu cumpleaños, this means when is your birthday. But if you're saying like tu as in the subject pronoun, there's an accent on the you. So that's how you differentiate between the 2.
Oh, so if the second person is in the subject, then you go with the eres?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That's a little challenging to remember.
Yeah. And okay, now that we're also addressing accents, accents are pretty straightforward. There's some that are a little tricky. So if you guys are taking notes, I'm not expecting you guys to, but just remember that to with an accent and to without an accent are 2 different things. So to with an accent means you, and it's informal. However, to without an accent means your, Y-O-U-R. And then similarly, I don't know if you guys noticed, but L, meaning he, has an accent on the E, and it will always have an accent on the E. However, there's also an L that's without an E. Let me try finding an example. You see here, L, it has an accent on the E. However, it'll probably come up. The L without an accent on the E means the. However, when it has an accent, it means he. So for this class, that's all I'm going to mention about accents, but we'll get into it more in detail. Okay.
Sorry, you said with the accent is he, without the accent is the?
Yeah. Okay. So try number 8. So mis mejores amigos. So mejores just means the best, and amigos, is that singular or plural?
Plural. I'm answering.
Amigos mean men.
Amigos just means friends.
Oh, then plural.
Right. So if you know that it's plural, then what do you think the conjugation is?
Somos.
No. Somos is when you're saying we.
S.
S is singular.
Then son.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try this one. This one's a little more difficult, but because you have to type them in, but it'll really help. Okay, let's try this next. So Sanjana, let's start with you. This one's pretty straightforward.
Can anyone answer it?
Yeah, let's do that. Anyone can answer it.
I think it's soy.
Yep, you're right. Yo soy. Oh, yo soy, Maria. Good job. All right, next one. I want everyone to be answered, but if you know the answer, you can definitely like shout it out. No problem. So 2. We know that 2 is
8.
someone different.
eres?
Yeah, good job. Tu eres de Paraguay? Are you from Paraguay? Paraguay is, if anyone didn't know, it's a country in South America. All right, L.
Es.
Yeah, LS, Boliviano. He is Bolivian. All right, Ella.
S?
Yep, good job. Ella es Chileana, which she is Chilean. Chile is also a country in South America. All right, number 5, nosotros.
What does nosotros mean?
Somos?
Nosotros means we, yes, somos. Nosotros somos. Nosotras somos. Nice. We are amigas. We are friends. And I just want to point something out. Notice how when you say nosotras, it ends in an AS, and then due to that, you use amigas. So you know that the subject that we're talking about specifically is a group of girls. We are friends. But this one is nosotros, so that could either mean that they're all boys or that they're like mixed, a group of girls and boys.
Somos?
Yeah, good job. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it says Eos here. I don't think that should be there. And perezosas means lazy. So next week I was planning on doing adjectives describing, things. Let's skip vosotros for now. Does anyone want to do Eos?
Is it son?
Yeah. Ellos son muy simpáticos. They are very nice. Someone different, try ellas.
Is it son again?
Yep, good job. Ellos son muy antipáticas, which means mean. All right. So that was that. Let's try. Are you guys pretty solid with this, or do you think one more quiz would help? More examples.
I'm good.
Everyone else feel like they're okay with this?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. In that case, let's move on because I want to try to get to the Kahoot game because I know a lot of people like Kahoot. Okay. So now let's actually get into some phrases that we use. So the first one we have is como te llamas. Anytime you have a double L in Spanish, when you're pronouncing it, you treat it as a Y. So como te llamas, tortilla, like that. There's a ya sound that comes after it. So don't say como te llamas because that's wrong, even though it's funny. But so como te llamas means what is your name? So the way you would answer that is me llamo Shreya, or you could also say yo soy Shreya, but the more common response to that would be me llamo Shreya. The second one, quién es, that means who is, right? So if I'm asking quién es el niño, who is that little boy? So the way you would answer that is either él es Javier or ella es Maria, like that. And then, if you want to specifically ask the name of someone else, like a third person, you'd say, como se llama. So notice how, I'll get into this later when we talk about the verb llamar, but it's conjugated differently. So just notice that te and se are used differently. So, como se llama, él or ella. And then you'd say, ella se llama, Maria. And then the last one is ¿qué tal?, which means like, what's up, how's it going? Or ¿cómo estás? How are you doing? How is it going, like that? Or ¿cómo está usted? Which is a more respectful way of saying the same question. So they all basically mean the same things and they're used interchangeably. And the way that you would answer that is estoy bien, regular, mal, or you can even say más o menos, which means, here and there. Más o menos or así así. I don't know if you guys have heard some of these phrases. So that's how you would, these are 4 questions that are very rudimentary. Okay, so let's try practicing this. Or does anyone have any questions about these answers? I want to get people talking. So let's try doing, actually, would you guys rather practice these questions first and then move on to the vocabulary? Or I can go over the vocabulary and then we can review like all the way at the end.
Wait, just one question about this one.
Yeah.
So, based on the French that we learned last year, is like bien and regular and mal this like sad and happy and regular?
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of times, you might even notice like through this whole session that a lot of words in English and Spanish mean the same thing, just have different like endings. So bien means good, regular or regular means regular, and mal means bad or in bad mood, not good. So you'll notice that it's a common theme throughout Spanish. Okay, so for now we'll come back to this, but let's do some vocabulary practice too. Okay, so looking at this list, does anyone know any of these already? You can just shout it out or guess. These are you've probably heard of some of these. Yeah.
I know Buenos Dias and Buenos Tardes and Buenos Noches and Adios.
Oh, what do they mean?
Buenos Dias means good morning. Buenos Tardes means good afternoon, and Buenos Noches means good evening.
Right.
Adios means bye.
All right, yeah, that's excellent. You did a great job. So good morning, good night, and good evening, good afternoon, and then good evening or good night. Adios means goodbye, bye-bye. Does anyone know any of the other ones? You want to try taking a stab at it before I show the answers?
Señor, senorita,
Yeah, what do they mean?
grandpa and grandma.
No, that's abuelo and abuela. Señor and señorita means just like Mr., Mrs., Miss. Okay, so let's go over these. So hasta luego means see you later. Hasta mañana, see you tomorrow. And hasta pronto means see you soon. So anytime you have an hasta, it's kind of like we'll see you tomorrow, see you sometime. And nos vemos just means see you. And then tengo que irme means I have to go. So tengo que irme, I have to go. Nos vemos, hasta pronto. And then, like Summer said before, you have señor, which means Mr. Senorita is Miss, so a lady that is not married. And then señora is someone that is married. And then the last three, we have encantado, which means pleased to meet you. Encantada. So depending on what gender the person that you're talking to is, you change it with either an O or an A. So if I'm talking to a female, encantada, or if I'm talking to a guy, encantado. Mucho gusto means nice to meet you as well. And then igualmente means likewise. So if I said, mucho gusto, like, hola, me llamo Shreya, mucho gusto, you'd be like, hola, me llamo Paco, igualmente, likewise. So those are some of the like basic vocabulary that I wanted you guys to know for the first time. Okay, so I want to try practicing this. Hold on, before we do the Kahoot, because we have some time left over, let's try doing like a partner scenario type of thing. So I'll go back to the questions. Okay, so let's try Auntie, if you don't mind, and Mahita.
Shreya, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Fourth one, I'm sorry, I have my work going on. I got a little distracted. Would you mind just telling me what the fourth question stands for? Ketai and Como?
Oh, yeah, sure. So the first one, Como Te Llamas, is what is your name?
No, just the fourth one.
Oh, the fourth one, ¿Qué tal? How's it going? What's up? And then ¿Cómo estás? How are you? So it's kind of used interchangeably. Okay, so what I want you both to try to do is like try and have a conversation with each other. So Auntie, I want you to ask Mahita what her name is, and then Mahita, I want you to respond. And then yeah, let's start there.
Okay. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?
Hola, me llamo Mahita.
All right, good job. Okay, so next I want Samarth and Ishana to go. Samarth, I want you to ask Ishana what the second question, and then Ishana, I want you to answer. You can make up any name; it's really fine.
Hola, Queen S.
So the way you pronounce it is Kien S.
Kian S.
Kien S. Paco. How about that? Or Kien S. El Nino. Repeat it.
Kias Alino.
Do it one more time. Kien S. El Nino.
Kin S. El Nino.
Okay. So who is that boy? And then Ishana, I want you to answer.
Ella S.
Ella S.
So Paco is generally a guy's name, so you would use L in this situation. So LS Paco. Repeat that.
LS.
LS. Wait, could you tell that again?
LSO Paco?
Yeah. Well, okay. I was just using a hypothetical name. So because Samarth asked, "Who is that boy?" you would respond by saying, "He is Paco." So LS Paco. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try. Sanjana, are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Sanjana and Ishita and Priya. So Sanjana, I want you to ask the last question. You can pick either one of them, and then I want Ishita to answer and Priya.
¿Cómo se llama?
Oh no, the fourth one.
Okay. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Usted? Estoy bien.
Yeah, good job. Okay. So now that we have that stuff done, does everyone know how to play Kahoot? Or hold on.
I do.
All right.
Wait,
so,
I do that in my school, so I think I
Yeah.
know how to play it.
So I want everyone ask either your parent for a phone or get another device and then log into Kahoot.it. It's a pretty quick quiz, so it'll go by quickly, but it'll be fun. So everyone go ask their parents or get like another phone and then let me know when you guys have all entered it in.
You just go to the Kahoot website.
www.kahoot.it. Type that in.
Okay. Where's the mouse? No.
Are you going to say
What's the game pin?
Here?
Yeah. I'm getting the game pin. All right.
Okay. www.kahoot.first. Oh, there we go. Game pin. Okay. 3. Wait, no, 4. 3.
Okay, is everyone in or okay? We have 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the game pin will be up. Okay, I think this is everyone. All right, let's start.
Wait, there's 2 answers. Oh, never mind.
All right, nice. Does everyone understand, or should I go over it? Basically, I'll just go over each of the answer questions really quick.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Can we do the first question over again?
No, I'm sorry. It's okay. You can. It's don't worry about it. So okay, all of these mean how are you, except como es la comida means how is the food. La comida means food, the food. And notice how la comida is feminine because la and then comida, it ends in an A. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, Rita is first. Oh, wow, we did pretty well, guys. Good job. So, I'll just go over these really quick. Generalmente means generally. Finalmente means finally. Igualmente means likewise. And then específicamente means specifically. So you notice how it kind of sounds like English, right? Generalmente, generally. So just take note of that as you're noticing things. A lot of words in Spanish are like this too. All right. Okay, this one was mixed. So remember that eos means eos. Eos is because of the O, you know that it's male. So the person that put eos, that would be female. Yeah. So this obviously needs some practice. So after this class, or if you decide to come back next week, I don't want you to like forget about it. You should be practicing a little because then it's just easier to remember. All right. Oh, okay. Let's go over this one. So como se llama is what is your name? And then the important thing to remember is that because El and Ea is in parentheses, you have to remember that it's third person. So third person means you're talking about he or she, someone that is not yourself. But when you're talking about first person, you're saying I. So that's the difference between first and third person, like briefly. So, okay. Okay, true or false? Uh-oh, okay. Wow. So this one, just remember that, see, if this was true in all Spanish speaking countries, that would mean countries like, different countries in South America. However, vosotros is only used in Spain, which is in Europe. So not all Spanish-speaking countries use vosotros. It's only in Spain. So just remember that it's not really that important. It's like a nice bonus. Okay. Oh, only one person got it right. Guys. Okay, it's okay. So the way that you can remember this is luego and then later. They both start with L's. So that's how you know that hasta luego means see you later. All the other answer choices don't have any L's in them. So think later, luego. All right. Senorita. All right. Okay, so let's go over this one too because I thought it would be pretty straightforward. But so senorita obviously means like a girl that is not married. A trick that you can remember to remember this is anytime you have like a word with an ita ending, it means like generally like smaller or like cuter, you know? So you wouldn't refer to like a married woman as like senorita because it kind of implies like you're young, you're small, you're cute type of thing. So like for example, there's a phrase in Spanish called chiquita, which is like small, cute type of that. So anytime you have like an ita ending, think of like I guess unmarried or just think of like younger. So that's how you would know that it's Miss and not Mrs., which is married. All right, good job. Well, good job, guys. Everyone at least got that part. Alrighty. Okay, pretty good. Another thing you can remember is buenas noches is good night, right? So noches and night both start with an N. So good night, and then in this case, good morning is buenos dias. All right, nice. Mucho gusto means nice to meet you. Just be careful. Encantado means pleased to meet you. So pleased and nice. I know they can be used interchangeably, but it's just a different like phrase. Okay, last question. All right, nice. Ella means she. All right. Third place, we have Summer. Second place, Krista. First place. All right, good job. Okay. Yay, congrats. All right. Okay, so we only have a couple minutes left. So what I want to do in that time is just go over. Okay. So basically, if you guys send me an email or your parents' email, I can share this Google Drive with you. So basically all the worksheets and the presentations I can have in here, and then I can share it with you so that you can have access to it if you want to practice or anything like that. So in the Unit 1 folder, I have homework. It's not mandatory, but it's helpful if you want to continue learning Spanish and get really good at it. So it's basically a worksheet. All I want you to do is translate everything to English. And then I have some sentences over here that I want you to translate as well. You can use Google Translate for this part if you want to. Just use Translate like very minimally because you're not learning if you're using Translate. So this stuff we covered in class today. So this, you can just look back at the presentation to find your answers. But this, I understand if you have to search up what some of the words mean. Does anyone know what compañero means? Think of the context of the sentence. Este es Juan, this is Juan. Él es compañero and clase. Clase means class. So can anyone guess what compañero means, given the context of the question?
A student?
Say that again?
A student?
Yeah, compañero is a classmate, or it's technically a classmate. Student would be estudiante. But that was pretty close. See, good job. So I want you guys to like think about it first, and then if you really get stuck, you can use Translate. I totally understand. This stuff is also we covered in class. Like once again, muchacho means just guy or girl. And then I want you guys to go over the subject pronouns so you really understand it. And then I want you to conjugate stare at the bottom. So it's pretty easy. It'll take like 10 minutes max. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap this class up or anything like that? No? Okay, I have one more question. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, and is this timing good for everyone, or like this day? I just want to make it easier for you guys to continue learning Spanish because I don't know if like this permanently is good or not. So is Tuesdays from 6 to 7 a good timing, or would you like me to move it back from 7 to 8 or a different day? I just wanted to get your feedback because I want this to be beneficial to you guys.
This is good for me.
Yeah? How about anyone else have thoughts?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good for everyone?
Yep, me too.
All right, good job. And I'm thinking of continuing this for another like 3 or 4 weeks. So does everyone who's already here think that it's a commitment that they're willing to make? Yeah?
Yeah.
Because, okay. All right, that sounds good. Okay, any final questions or is everyone good?
Gracias, Shreya.
Is there any improvements or things that you like? Like, would you like me to incorporate more Kahoots in the future? Or were there parts that you like thought were like boring? Like, I would love any feedback just so I can make this more interactive with you guys.
I actually thought the class was really interesting.
Oh, thank you.
I think the time just flew. I can't believe it's 1 hour already. It went really good.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really fun.
So you guys like the Kahoots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try including more of those. And I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Quizlet, right? I'm sure you guys
Yes.
have used it in school. So I'll try making some Quizlets when I have time, when we learn more vocabulary, things like that. Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys taking the time to
Bye.
learn.
Thanks, Shreya. That was a very
Gracias.
interesting session, as people said.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. Adios.
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 All right, if everybody has done with their questions, I can end this meeting.
Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna copy and paste the email.